Hey folks, hope you're all doing well and welcome back to the channel. So this was sort of a last minute live stream. Decided to do this at the last minute. Hopefully we'll get a few people in here. Mitch is in here already. Hey Mitch, thanks for joining me. Yeah, I was kind of on the fence about doing this one, but I like to do these once a month. And yeah, this month's gonna be pretty hectic as far as my Saturdays and for the next few weeks. Hey, there's Tyler Patterson. Welcome. Yeah, so I got a lot of shit coming up. And hey, Mitch. And yeah, it's. I mean, I'm not complaining. You know, if you're, it's funny. Um, I mean, being a guitar player and all the time and work you put into playing and rehearsing and all that, for me the end game is always is being able to play gigs. So I know I'll never complain about gigs, whether I have a lot of them, because I mean, talking to people today, and I mean, there's guys out there that I'm in a very envious position because they all wish they were in bands and and playing shows, and it's a blessing. I mean, and it's not nothing to do with here's what I learned. I mean, over the years, it's got nothing to do with talent or ability, because I certainly don't have a lot of that. It's, hey Dark Wizard, how are you? It's got nothing to do with talent and ability. It's just getting with the right folks. Hey Jimmy Biter, how are you? Hey Mitch Marsden, there's a new name. Welcome to the channel. So let me get back to what I was saying. This is the only time I'm probably going to be able to do one of these this month. I like to do a live stream once a month and just kind of on a one-to-one with everybody. Because I got a lot of shows coming up, and I was saying earlier, I'm in a little bit of we're talking to other guitar players and friends that play music. I'm in a bit of an envious position because everybody wants to be able to play gigs, and God willing, I'm fortunate enough that I've got enough on my plate. For me, if I do 2 or 3 shows a month every month, that's kind of where I want to be at. I don't want to play every weekend. I did that in my 20s, and then it turns into a job, and it's not fun anymore, right? So you kind of want to be at that sweet spot where you're playing 2, maybe even 3 is kind of pushing it, but and it's got, again, it's just luck, man. You just you have to find the right people. Everybody's got to be uh, on the same page in terms of commitment and willing and availability to do the shows and the rehearsals and all that goes with it. And just very, very fortunate that I mean, I've been in this band now for probably 10 years, and it's been a very slow progression, but we're at a point now where we're a known quantity, and people actually come out to see us specifically. I mean, we played a great show last week, and it was sold out. So, and again, I'll tell you honestly, it's got nothing to do with ability. We're definitely not the best band, but if you put out a good product and people enjoy it, and they come see you, it's a blessing. So I'm not complaining about all the gigs, believe me, because if I wasn't in a band and I wasn't doing gigs, then I'd be miserable. So, but there you go. Yeah, Carp Dog. Yeah, back in the day, and I've got a playlist of I think it's called Live Gigs, where it's just a bunch of recorded stuff when I used to do it back in the day. You know, I would set up my phone, and you know, the sound quality wasn't the best and the video probably wasn't the best, but I did document some shows that we did. So they're there. You can check them out. I used to actually live stream gigs back in the day, but I don't do that anymore. It's just it's too much of a distraction, and the quality's never quite as good. So I don't do that anymore. But you know, I'll put clips up sometimes. You know, on the Guitar Hack Facebook. I have a Guitar Hack Facebook page, which if you're not subscribed, you know, please go over there and check it out. And you know, I'll sometimes I'll post clips and stuff. You know, like you know, if somebody, not me, but somebody's out in the audience and they're you know, able to get a half decent recording and stuff. So, but yeah, got a lot of really cool stuff coming up. Playing a yacht club in a couple of weeks. You know, we're doing a big outdoor thing the same weekend, so that's crazy. But yeah, man, I'm just so fortunate, you know. And I count my blessings because I know the frustration when I'm talking to other guitar players and they're trying to get into a band, and then you got to learn all the songs. I mean, shit, it's so much work. Like when this band, I mean, I don't know when it's going to end. Everything ends at some point, but I don't think I have the um at this age, I don't think I have the energy or the patience to start all over again. Do you know what I mean? Like I've put in my time. So saw AC/DC for the first time live a couple of days ago. Overall, really good show. Angus is amazing still. That's really cool, man. You could tell when you see a guy out there, and I've seen live clips of Angus. It's in his blood, man. You know that's what he's meant to do, and he just loves doing it. And you know he kind of if he wasn't doing it, he'd be missing it. So you know, I don't, you know, yeah, you know, his brothers obviously passed away, and you know, I don't think no Phil Rudd is no longer the drummer. I think the bass player also Cliff Williams. I think he's retired. But you know what, man? If you're out there, and I mean, you still got Angus and Brian still out there belting it. God bless him, man. God bless him. I can see why. I know the addiction. You know, I mean, I'm not comparing myself to AC/DC, but just the you know, the addiction of playing live in front of an appreciative crowd. I mean, there's really nothing like it, and that's all guitar is for me. If I wasn't in a band, I'd sell everything because there's no point. You know? Yeah. Sounds Brian's sound at old age place was packed and it was loud. Oh, so Brian sounded okay? Oh, it sounded decent. Yeah. Denskill. Yeah, Denskill. Now there's a real guitar player. So I picked this out tonight to play. I don't know if any. I mean, I have brought this out before on the channel. You know, I don't know if people are real familiar with this thing. This is sort of like a real dinosaur guitar in the sense that, you know, not a lot of people play them. I mean, these days, you know, Johnny Winter, I guess, is probably the most famous for this playing this style of guitar. It's a Firebird. I brought it out because I the last show that I did, I played this guitar. I'll bring this out whenever I can, and it's not often that I can bring this out for a number of reasons. One is, I mean, the thing is about 15 feet long. It's like playing a canoe. But it just you know, when you're up there rocking and you got this, and you know, just it's, I mean, I love this thing. It's cooler than shit, and it sounds great. And you know, it's light, and you can swing it around and do all your, you know, your live all your rock star fantasies up there, you know, lifting it up in the air and all that shit. It's nice and light, and you can do all that kind of stuff, and it sounds great, and it's super easy to play. So But yeah, I love the Firebird. I mean, I love this guitar so much. I was dumb enough to sell to sell one, and then realized how dumb I was and went and bought it again. So that's the curse of a guitar player. If you ever sell and then go back and buy not exactly the same guitar but the same model, you know you've got a problem. So this is one that I sold and found another one, thank God. And they don't even make these anymore like this now. Gibson's now got this thing called the platypus, which looks like this, but this is a neck through, which means the neck goes all the way through right to the end. Now the new ones are like a glue-in neck, and I don't think they do the reverse headstock anymore, if you can see that, but yeah. You know what? I mean, as with the advantage, what I find about this guitar, I mean, if you notice, like, the benefits of this guitar, I mean, the neck is kind of long, but that's because it starts like here, as it doesn't go into the body. So it's just, you know, it's got like a longer scale length, and it's just super slinky. So like the bend notes on this are, it's not, it's just really slinky to play, right? You know, it's just really slinky and real easy to bend notes. And as far as the tone, I mean, you know, I'm not going to get into the whole wood and all that sort of thing. The beauty of this guitar is it's got the pickups on here. This is a Firebird 5, right? There's a few versions of a Firebird. The 5 means it's got 2 mini humbuckers, but I call these mini humbuckers, but they're not like the mini humbuckers you'd find in a Les Paul Deluxe. These are specific to this guitar. So a Firebird has a certain something that you really, I don't know, I can't put my finger on it. It's almost like a Gibson Telecaster. I guess that would be the closest thing to compare it. You get just enough chunk and meat so you can chug like, it's got just enough of that, but it still has, but then it has this nice sort of clarity and these sweet overtones that just, you know, you don't have in a say a Les Paul, you know. So whenever I pull this out, I mean, you know, it's the reaction of the band is like, man, that thing sounds great. You know, it just sounds really cool and different. How old is it? Yeah, it would cost a. You know what? When that's Dark Wizard. Yeah. So believe it or not, when I got this is I think a 2017 or 2018. This was like there's a big uh it's sort of Canada's version of Guitar Center, which is called On McQuaid. This was the last one in the country of that year. Okay, so this was like new old stock, and I paid in Canadian money, and I've had this probably. I bought this during COVID, so what's that? 4 years ago, and it was $14.99 at that time, and now they're over $2,000. So like if I sold this today, I could make 500-600 bucks on it. But then to replace it would be impossible. Like I'd have to find another old one with the old specs, or get one of these new platypus things that, you know, I don't know. Yeah, John, they do sound a little bit different. So for many years, I did own a deluxe, and I don't know if you how familiar you are with Gibson, but there was a lot of years that Gibson stopped making deluxes. They made them up until I think 1980, maybe 81, and then they stopped making them. They're making them again now, but I own the one I had was a 1980 Gold Top Deluxe, and it's basically a little thinner version of a humbucker was the best way to describe it. But it didn't have that, like this, have that sort of Telecaster flavor to it, you know. What was funny is, you know, I mean, we played, you know, some pretty obscure stuff. And we play stuff that's sort of like early 50s kind of almost rockabilly type of stuff, like, you know, Eddie Cochran, Summertime Blues. And when you're playing that stuff and you're playing those licks on here, man, it's got that vibe, you know. It sounds like the right guitar for that period, you know. So it's got that ability, which you need that sort of high-end clarity. And then but then you can rock out on this, you know, and you can play heavy shit on this too. It's so versatile. It's really cool. Sounds good to see you play. Thanks, Dark Wizard. Yeah, I've got. I mean, right now, I mean, you're not really hearing the guitar, honestly, because I'm going through this, you know. I talked about, I don't want to repeat myself, but I talked about this on the last live stream I did. I just got the Gigcaster Pro. So I'm going through a bunch of effects on stuff on here. So you're not really hearing, you're hearing maybe a fraction of what this thing really sounds like. The reverse headstock, it's a little bit of an adjustment at first, to be honest with you. The hardest part about this guitar really is the tuning, because these tuning pegs, okay, are kind of close together, and they're mini tuners, right? Because, I mean, you know, they're all inline tuners here, and it's a little bit tricky to tune. So as long as you realize that the furthest is the E string, the low E string, and then you kind of go from there. No, Rickenbacker, that's a totally different animal, Mitch. Or, yeah, Mitch Marsden. That's a totally different animal. Rickenbacker's got that, I mean, what they're known for, and I haven't played a lot of Rickies. I've played a few, but they've got that sort of, that whole jangly kind of vibe to them, sort of a semi-hollow, jangly sound. They're really good for chord. Like, you can't really, it's hard to, like, solo and bend notes on a Ricky. It just doesn't kind of work for that, but it's a really good chording guitar. That being said, I watched what the hell was it? It was CCR at the Royal Albert Hall, and there's somebody help me. The singer guitar player. Oh god, I'm blanking out. The singer guitar player for CCR. Come on. Anyway, I'm watching him rip a solo on this thing, and I'm like, how the hell is he doing that? Because what I remember about playing them is the string tension is really tight, so it's kind of really hard to bend notes on them. Reverse headstocks, easier to tune from upside. Yeah, that's true, John. Yeah, they're a little bit easier. Yeah. Denskill's #1 fan. Awesome. John Fogarty, thank you. Yeah, I don't know, blanking on his name, but yeah, so he actually, you should check out that video, CCR. What the hell did I watch it on? It might have been Netflix or something, but it's really cool. And Fogarty's phenomenal player, man. Phenomenal player. But yeah, it's just the... Hey, Gary Joyce, how are you? Yeah, so I just decided to go live just for the hell of it. This might be the only opportunity I have to do it this month. If I can, I'll try and squeeze one in at the end of the month, but I don't know. What's really cool about this is, man, you can get right up high, like... like all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's, you know, when you're playing, like, I love Les Pauls. Like, that's like sort of my #1. That's my jam, isn't as a Les Paul. But when you're up trying to play like pentatonic up high, you know, like say you're doing A, so what is that? 12, 15. You're up soloing, like you're going up as high as the 19th fret. You can do all of that shit up here, no problem. I mean, there's just tons of access. You know, all kinds of room up there to do that stuff. Live Joe Perry solos underrated player. You know what I mean? For Aerosmith, I guess if you're a real Aerosmith fan, you can hear when it's Joe and you can hear when it's Brad. And my favorite Aerosmith record is Toys in the Attic. And that is about, well, it's my favorite Aerosmith record, and it also has some of the best sounding guitar tone ever recorded to me, for me. And what's cool about that, and a lot of it, is you can tell that, and I imagine it would be Joe playing, because I know Joe plays a Strat a lot, and Brad is more of a Les Paul guy, and you can kind of hear the characters of the two guitars and the intermingling. But I mean, I don't know. I haven't listened to it closely enough to kind of pick out, okay, that's Joe, pick out that's Brad. But Brad, I mean, he's one of those guys that gets overshadowed by Joe a lot, because Joe's the cool rock star guy, and Brad's just sort of the musician guy. So yeah, I don't know how to distinguish between the two well enough, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But both really good guitar players in their own right. Oh, trying to do a rake there. Get a Grip is my fave Joe Perry work. Really? Get a Grip. Wow. Can you play the guitar from the song? Yeah, another new name here. Minus Boy. Never heard of that song. Mammy Tears? No idea. No idea. Who plays that? Never heard that song. No idea. So yeah, I mean, the whole idea of, I mean, obviously I have, too many instruments. Um, but the cool thing about it is, and one of the arguments you can make for having, a few guitars, is that if you haven't played one for a while and you pick it up, it's like it's brand new again, right? So I hadn't gigged with this thing in probably like a year and a half or something. And then when I picked it up, it's like a brand new guitar again. And learning how to play it and getting the feel of it and whatever, and then just enjoying the hell out of it. It's a ZZ Top song. Play with no pick. No, John, I'm not that talented. I can't play with no pick. I mean, if I'm playing acoustic guitar, I can sort of do a half-assed Travis picking thing. But on an electric guitar, I mean, I don't even hybrid pick, which is something I really should do, because I love the guys that do that. The hybrid picking means, they'll do a combination of the pick and their fingers, right? Which I don't know how to do. Yeah, Jeff Beck, man. Rest in peace. What a monster guitar player that guy was. Like, just, when you see a guy like that with the control that he had with the, I mean, I'm talking about his later stuff when he was really mastered the whole sort of tremolo bar, and and with his Strat and some of the stuff he was doing. I mean, it's just like, is this guy even human? Unfucking believable player. There's Stephen David. There's a new name. Folks, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I am very close to, when I say close, I'm still about 115 roughly away from 5,000. Tell your friends. If I can hit 5,000 before the end of the year, that would be absolutely awesome. So, but thanks for joining me tonight. This was, again, it was a last minute thing. Just decided to do, because I do these once a month. I don't know if I'll be able to do it again this month. Mark Knopfler, no, Mark Knopfler is a monster. He's a great guitar player. Hey, Mark's gas station, welcome. Yeah, he's a great player, Mark Knopfler. Yeah. Yeah. I used to know how to play parts of Sultans of Swing, but I'm not even going to try it. Yeah, what Beck did on guitars was great. Oh, thank you, Steven. Appreciate that, man. Yes. John. Yeah. Jeff Beck at Ronnie Scott's. That is just I mean, there's no words. You know, watching that. I mean, the only guy, well, I'll give you another one if you, but more on a blues sort of idiom. But and it's on YouTube. Stevie Ray Vaughan live at the El Macombo. You know, this is before he really, really blew up, and he's just on this, you know, relatively small stage with double treble, and he's just got his Fender Twin and a tube screamer and his beat up Strat, and that will just watching a guy in the moment where everything just literally, it's like just oozes out of him, and everything he plays is magic. Unbelievable. Oh, Tyler, we got a hell of a show this month. This month is going to be, yeah. You know what? I'll tell you the date, because it's on my phone. But this month is going to be an absolutely killer show with Pete and Martin. And I'll tell you the show. I'll tell you the date here. I'm just looking it up on the phone. Okay, May 22nd. May 22nd. Mark your calendars. May 22nd, 8 p.m. Eastern. Martin, myself, and Pete. I don't want to give it away, but it's going to be a really, really cool. If you're a guitar player, it's a guitar-centric show, right? And if you're not a guitar player, but you love guitar music, it's also for you. So check that show out. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to that one. SRV and Austin City Limit. Yeah, I've got all the DVDs. Austin City Limits. I've got the El Macombo, Stevie Ray. Unbelievable. Little Wing. Yeah, I mean, I love what Stevie does. Does he do Little Wing on that? I don't remember. I know he does Voodoo Child on that. Yeah, you need a whammy, not a whammy, but you need a wah pedal to play Voodoo Child. Train Kept a Rolling, one of my favorite Aerosmith songs. Now, that's a cover. And I don't know who did the original. Train Kept. Was it the Yardbirds that did the original, or was that a cover? Did they also do a cover? I'm not sure who did the original version of that. That'd be interesting to find out. Was the Yardbirds, eh? Okay, cool. Tiny Bradshaw? Oh, that okay. No, I don't know what the hell that is, Gary. I'll take your word for it, though. Oh, they played Have a Drink on Me at the AC/DC show. It's been on the. Oh, that's very cool. Yeah. You know what? I hate to admit it, but I've never seen AC/DC live. Actually, I just bought. This is kind of weird, but I got a notification that Joe Bonamassa is coming to Toronto. And I'm like, okay. So I went and I checked it out, and then there's all this pre-sale and all this sort of thing. And I'm like, and I was able to get pre-sale tickets, and I'm looking, well, when the hell is he coming? He's coming November 5th. November 5th. It was still April. It was just a week ago. So I got tickets to Joe Bonamassa for November 5th. And if you've never seen Joe B live, you're missing out. Especially if you're a guitar geek, because if you know anything about Joe Bonamassa, you know he's one of the biggest guitar collectors on the planet. But he's a collector, but he actually plays what he collects. So, you know, I'll be there listening to, 59 Les Paul and, a 50s Telecaster and all these various guitars, because he plays them. He actually uses them. He's got brings out the Flying V, 50, I'm not sure the year, 58 or whatever, 57 Flying V. Anyways, but man, he's just and he's always got the absolute best freaking tone, right? He's playing out of Dumble amps, combination of Dumbles and Marshalls and some high-powered Fender Twins, and yeah. Hey Eric, welcome, man. I've seen him once before, and he had the, he had the big band, he had the backup singers, and man, I don't remember if he had a horn section when I saw him. I can't remember if he had. I remember he had backup singers. This is years. This is pre-COVID. This is probably 5 or 6 years ago. He doesn't come up here often. I guess coming into Canada is probably a pain in the ass for him. And as far as I know, this is the only Canadian date, because I think once he plays here, I think he goes from Columbus, Ohio to here, and then he shoots back down to Detroit or something like that. So yeah, he doesn't play much in Canada, unfortunately. That guy gets a lot of hate, and I don't know why. I mean, guy worked his ass off, to be where he is and do what he does. He wasn't handed anything, and I mean, the proof's in the pudding. The guy's a fantastic player. Should have bought unique guitar. Very litty in the. Well, he's got these runs, John, that are basically Eric Gale-ish runs, where I mean I can't do any of them, but where he runs and then he does it in 2 notes and then he comes back 1 note, then another 2 notes. It sounds like he's playing 100 notes, but he's repeating everything he does on the descend, and that's an Eric Johnson thing. Yeah. So he's lot of when he does those sort of things, you can hear a lot of the Eric Johnson influence in his playing. An Epiphone Modern. That's the one that's sort of, it's just got a cut on the one. It's sort of like, almost like the one half of it looks like a V, and then the other side's got like a cut out of it or something. I know I've seen that. It's a very odd shape, and it's a pretty rare guitar. You know, another rare Gibson, and oh god, I'm blanking on the name of it. The RD, right? Which I didn't even know that model existed until, I don't know if you guys are into Ghost, but there was, this is years ago. I'm watching a Ghost video, and they're playing these really sort of weird shaped guitars, and I looked into it, and I think one of them was playing the Gibson RD, and then the other guy was playing it wasn't a Hammer. What the hell was it? It was another guitar company, but it had a very similar shape. I can't Hagstrom. It was a Hagstrom. That's what it was. And yeah, so the RD is I mean, they don't make them anymore. I think they made them in the 70s. I guess they never took off. And then you see the guys from Ghost, the what do they call them? The ghouls, the unknown ghouls or something ghouls. Yeah. Yeah, the RD kind of, it's like almost a Firebird, but with a deeper cut on the top and the bottom, right? Oh, when Joe B does that, yeah, there's a really, I think I know what you're talking about, Dark Wizard. There's a video where Joe does a medley. He does like, he does a little bit of that, and then I think he goes into. So he does a medley where he's playing like. The ZZ Top, and then he does that, and then it morphs into how many more times. It's like 10 minutes long or whatever, and yeah, he just tears it up. The guy's a beast. They just reissued. No way, John. Really? They just re-released the. I mean, why not? You know. I find Gibson now they're putting out all kinds of shit. All the stuff that they said, because when the new ownership came in, they really condensed their offerings, and now they're blowing them all up again. Now they're making all kinds of models, discontinued models. I mean, they made that, was it the Futura or whatever? You know, all these obscure models that nobody bought. And it's like, oh, here's a model that we made for 6 months in the 80s. We're releasing it again, you know. Is it the Futura? There's like an 80s guitar that they made. I played one. It was terrible. Is it? No, no. It can't be the Futura. Is it? I can't remember the name of it, but yeah. Oh. Had to cry today over awesome 10-minute long. Oh, I had to cry today? Oh, a cover. Okay, I got you. See the new Sammy Hagar video tribute to. No, that's come up a few times, Mitch, but I haven't checked that out. Stringless Smart Guitars. There's another new name, Angus 1966. Again, folks, if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe and hit the like. Please hit the like. Channel needs all the support it can get. I'm trying to get up to 5,000 subscribers. Stringless Smart Guitars. So I don't even know what that is. What is it like a like? It sounds like a those guitars from with the buttons like on Rockstar, or the video game Guitar Hero or whatever it is. Ah, thanks, Mitch. MIDI guitars. Okay. Yeah, I never seen one. I've never seen one. As far as the new technology and stuff, I mean, kind of proof right here. I like the old style guitars, and not with all the new fangled fancy electronic. I mean, there's guitars that have built-in um, gain pedals built into the guitar. I'm not into that sort of thing. I'm too much of a dinosaur. Do I do any crazy tunings? Do you like the G-Force robot tuners? Yeah, that whole G-Force thing with the tuners. Um, I kind of avoided that whole. I mean, there was that period, right, where like I mean, they only did it for a year, I think, and then they pulled back on the whole robot tuners. I did play guitars with the robot tuners, and you know, uh, they only work when you press the button on them to set it. But like if you were to spin the tuners, those robot tuners, it's like there's no tension there. There's nothing there, right? It was kind of a weird thing, right? And I mean, I get the convenience of it, alternate tuning. You just sort of type it in. But I mean, if you're at a gig and you got to swap tuning and you got to look at the back of your headstock, when you're at a gig, you don't have any time between songs. It's got to be like you got to be ready like instantly. So I can't imagine like, oh, hang on a second, wait, let me punch in that code and get the new tuning. So yeah, I don't know, never a big fan of those. As far as alternate tunings, for the stuff that I do, I mean, closest I get to an alternate tuning is a drop D. I did do I think I talked about this the other day. I got so many videos. I got over shit. I don't know how many videos I got. I got a lot of videos. Anyways, I was doing a series one time called my 5 favorite riffs. So I was picking bands and then picking 5 riffs from each band to play. And one of the riffs, two of the riffs, when I did the Led Zeppelin, one of them was Kashmir, and the other one was Dancing Days. And those were alternate tunings. That's the first time I ever did it. I think one of them was Dadgad. I can't remember what the other one was. And it was weird, man. But I could see the appeal of doing that, because when you do that, it's like everything is sort of different on the guitar. It kind of opens up a lot of, if you're trying to write something, it kind of really opens up, the envelope of what you can do. So. But yeah, no, in normal conditions, no, I don't do any of that stuff. Yeah, the gimmick guitars, yeah. Dadgad, yeah. DADG, yeah. Hey, there's Dwight Bailey. Dwight, I don't have that gunshot sound effect, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I mean, I can see why. Like, we do a couple of Rolling Stones songs. So, like, we do "Start Me Up," and I cheat "Start Me Up" because "Start Me Up" is also, I don't know if it's Dadgad, but you know, I play with bar chord. You know, which is cheating, right? You know, because he's doing it all with one finger, I think. So it does open up a lot of possibilities if you're writing songs, but I don't really mess with that too much. Whoop. Gotta play some old Kiss. Paul Stanley, cover of Alive. This is what he had. I think it was a 5. I think he had two. Yeah, I think he had two pickups on it, from what I recall. Well, I don't know if I'll change your mind, John. That whole thing about which decades made the best guitars, um, I don't put a lot of faith in that. Because and the reason why, I mean, imagine this, right? 70s Les Pauls are shit. So if we put that into practical terms, that means everyone who walked into the Gibson factory January 1st, 1970, until the very last guitar that was built in December of 79, every one of those guitars, they were told in the factory, all of these guitars have to be shit. Don't come in tomorrow unless you're going to make a shit guitar. I mean, think about it. So every single one of those guitars was shit. Does that make any sense? It's like anything else. It doesn't matter what year it is. And I've picked up enough guitars in my time. And regardless of year, whatever, this one is good. This one is shit. They could be the same year, the same model. This one is good. This one is shit. It's just finding one that's good, you know. And I got different years, most of my Les Pauls, I think, are all of them, are all 2000s. 2005. I got, I think, a couple of 2005s, 2015s, 2019s. You know, if they're good, they're good. I don't try to pin a year or a time frame to them because there's good guitars and there's bad guitars, and there always will be. 9 of 42. Yes, Angus. That's what I do. The easier to play, the better. Like guitars, Rick Nielsen, cool. Show unless you have gone part during a song. Saw him bring out one. I can't imagine what his back feels like, Dark Wizard, because that thing must weigh a good 20 pounds. Good to see you too, Alan. Welcome, man. Just a last minute thing. Been on here for almost an hour, so I'll hang out for a little bit longer. I want to thank everybody. You guys are awesome, man. I did this last minute because I do these once a month, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to squeeze one in this month. Because God, you know, thank God we get lots of shows coming up. If I can squeeze one in at the end of the month, I will. If not, it'll be in June. But yeah, check out if you're an SOT or if you watch my monthly stream with Martin and Pete. Definitely watch it this month. What did I say? The 22nd of June? Is that what the day I said? we got a really, really good show coming up. So make sure you're here for that. It's going to be entertaining and fun. So, yeah. Yeah. I'm laughing thinking about it. I don't want to give away the topic, but I'll give you a hint. It's very guitar centric. And here's okay, I'll give you another clue. Only two of us play guitar. So of the three. So Steve and David. Yes, thank you so much. The 22nd at 8 p.m. Eastern, yeah. It'll be good for a laugh. And maybe if you're not a guitar player but you like guitar music, you know, it'll be informative. Because I know not everybody here is a guitar player. Oh, yeah, yeah, Tyler. Hats off to Pete Pardo, man. If you're, well, I'm sure everybody in here is an SOT fan, but if you're not subscribed to SOT, do it. Pete just did an interview with Alex Lifeson, which was just stellar. I congratulated him on it. You know, love to see my friends doing well, and he nailed that interview, and it was awesome. Awesome. Hey, there's Guitar Man 45. How are you? Guitar Man 4. I've had this guitar for years, dude. I just rarely bring it out, but I gigged with it last week. I mean, it's not often I can use it because I have to have a big enough stage and somewhere where I feel it's going to be safe. But I used it last week, and I plan on using it in 2 weeks again. I'm going to use it as much as I can because it was so much fun pulling it out and playing it. You know. You don't... I'm a bad influence, but man, if you've never played a Firebird, try one. Sitting down, they're kind of like... It's like playing a canoe. Right? Sitting down, not so much, but standing up and playing it, if you can rock this, man, you can swing it around. It's just so cool. Yeah, it was fantastic, Steven. Definitely. Hey, Alex Schaefer, welcome, man. The Floyd Rose. I've had a few Floyd Rose guitars. I had an Ibanez Roadstar for years, and then I had a Jackson. Was it a Jackson? Yeah, it was a Jackson. The problem is with Floyd Rose for me is, well, not so much now. I used to play in two different bands, and one band we tune E flat, and the other band we tune E standard. And the problem with the Floyd is it's like a set it and forget it guitar. It's like, okay, this is going to be an E flat guitar, and then you set the spring tension and all that to, you know, that tuning. But then when you want to swap tuning, everything goes out the window. And it's too much of a pain in the ass, you know, doing that. So and then I had a Charvel. It wasn't a Floyd, it was a Goto. I had a Goto whammy. Anyways, I just, you know what? I've never been a whammy guy. I'm not particularly good at it either. You know, I mean, apart from doing the obvious stuff that dies, the pinch harmonics, well, you know, I just, you know, listen to some of my original music. I'm doing some whammy stuff on that, but it's something I can live without. And so pretty much, I mean, I have the ability to, on my PRS, I've got a C24 that's got a tremolo on it, but I just block everything so that I don't have to worry about tuning stability, and I can go E flat back and forth, no problem. 2016 vintage Sunburst a few weeks ago. Yeah, you've got quite the collection of guitars, Guitar Man 45. Didn't you just, last time we were on, or I was on, I think you mentioned something about getting a reissue Les Paul. Yeah, man, good for you, buddy. Did you like Denskill's pink Ibanez picks? I don't think I've seen his Ibanez picks. I remember he had a, I don't know if he still has it. He had a pink Ibanez gem guitar. What kind of music do I play? Um, well, I've got a whole playlist of original music, so that's the music that I write. Check that out. Um, as far as what I play, I mean, in cover bands, I play music that you can dance to. So I'll play everything from you know some 50 stuff, some pretty lame stuff like I mentioned Eddie Cochran earlier. Summertime Blues, Love Potion Number 9, all these lame songs. And then we'll do stuff from the 60s. So we do the Kinks and a lot of Beatles. Uh, and then 70s stuff, we'll do Kiss, Cheap Trick, Bob Seger. 80s stuff. Yeah, it's all dance stuff. People that dance to, Billy Idol. What other 80s stuff do we do? I don't know. It's like there's 75 songs, but when somebody asks me what do I play, unless I have the set list in front of me. But just a wide variety of stuff. And then we do the more modern stuff. Blink 182. I guess they're not modern anymore, but the Killers and just sort of whatever. Black Keys. I was gonna say Black Eyed Peas, Black Keys. Whatever sort of works with the crowd. Modern English. We just started doing this. One of their songs. You know. We do The Weekend. We did a song by the Weekend. It's actually a guy named The Weekend. Blinding Light, I think. No, or is that a country? I don't know. Lots of stuff. Carp Dog, hey, how are you? Blocks it, doesn't have. Yeah, I'm not, I don't uh, consider myself a Floyd Rose aficionado by any means. There's some guys that can do some real magic. We talked about Jeff Beck and just that control that he has over tremolo. And it's just not something that, it's weird because, I mean, I would be considered a child of the 80s. But as far as my guitar playing and who inspired me and who I kind of gravitate to, it's actually more of the 70s guys, which is kind of weird, you know? So I'm more like Jimmy Page, Angus Young, Tony Iommi. Those are kind of my guys, Neil Sean. Well, I guess he was an 80s guy too, but, those are kind of more my guys. Gary Moore, although he did a lot of stuff in the 80s too, but that kind of style, more so than say Eddie. It was funny because when I was in the 90s, I was in a band and we were playing a lot of rock stuff, and we had the one guy was like the whammy bar Eddie Van Halen guy, so he did all those kinds of songs. And then when we did like a ZZ Top or a Led Zeppelin or something of that nature, then I would be the guy. So it was cool because I can't really do that stuff, and he couldn't really do my stuff. The bluesy rock stuff he wasn't good at, but he could do the flashy stuff. So it's kind of a perfect blend of the two. Doing some guitar hunting soon. Check the expensive places. That's cool, Dark Wizard. Yeah, man. If you have the ability, I mean, sometimes people, depending on where they live, if they're real far away from guitar shops, they have to, order them. But if you have the ability to go and sit down and pick one up, there's really no substitute for that. And if you're like me and you've been playing guitars forever, you pretty much within the first 30 seconds know whether or not you're going to like it. And I'll use this as an example of Firebird, man. I walked past these things hanging on the wall forever, and I remember when I fell in love with the Firebird. Again, same thing. Things, I'm walking, I see it hanging on the wall, And I think like I was waiting for somebody or whatever. So to kill time, I picked one up, and I picked one up, and this is, I don't plug into amps until I'm serious about the instrument. I just play it sort of, acoustically or whatever, like not plugged in. And as soon as I picked it up, and within 30 seconds, I'm like, oh shit. The oh shit moment is like, I really like this. I have to have it. That's the oh shit moment. And usually that happens with, in about 30 seconds. So, I mean, I've walked past Firebirds for years. I'm late coming to Firebirds, and now that I have, and I mentioned earlier, I had one, sold one, and bought it again. That's how much I like them. I'm late coming to Firebirds. I'm late coming to Telecasters until I discovered the beauty of a Telecaster. I'm late to Telecast. Certain guitars, and then there's other ones that I'll just never. Jaguars, all that sort of, the Fender stuff, Jaguars, the Mustangs. They don't do anything for me. I've played them. I just don't like those guitars. Not that they sound bad, but they're just not my vibe. There's a lot of guitars that I'm not a big fan of. A Murphy, that's it. A Murphy lap. Yeah, very cool, man. That's a bucket list. Whenever my gigging days are over and I sell a bunch of stuff, I may just, I'm thinking about it. I may just go out and buy like my dream Murphy. I mean, I kind of have my dream guitar right here. This is an RO, but it's not Murphy. Well, it's kind of, it's what they call light age, but this was Murphy before Murphy. Um, I might just go out and get something like that. I don't know if if I've got the money to spare. Sell drinks, but play them your own way. That's all. Yeah, I mean, we don't cover anything really. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say no for, I mean, like solo wise and stuff. If it's, we play the songs so they're obviously recognizable. When it comes to the solos, I'm not one to learn note for note. Like we do like some ZZ Top stuff. I mean, with ZZ Top, perfect example, there's those sort of key licks that have to be in there. But then all the in between stuff, I just kind of do my own thing. Blackmore, yeah, Dark Wizard. I was never a Blackmore guy. That's one guy that just, I don't know. I never really gelled with Blackmore. I like some of the Deep Purple is one of those bands that I'm not big on. Never have been for whatever reason. Never have been big on Deep Purple. I actually prefer his stuff with the Rainbow more than Deep Purple. I know it's a crime, and I should be imprisoned. I mean, but the Rainbow stuff is, I think, just cooler. Tom Anderson, no, 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 that's some high stakes right there. I've never played. Oh, have I played? I have played a Tom Anderson. Yeah, don't remember much about it, but there was a shop that just closed here about a month ago where they had all the high end stuff, like all the high end Sur stuff, the Tom Anderson stuff, the Friedman guitars. I think they even had some nags in there, like all the really expensive stuff. And I remember it was always cool going in there and playing those guitars because you wouldn't see them anywhere else. But that shop is gone. So he's broke down, so like I won't get one I used broke down, so like I won't get fixed. I'll use my other one or two for now. The guitar broke down. Wow, how did that? Oh, the pickup's not working anymore. I've never had a guitar go on me. I've had, actually, I just had my pickup selector fixed on one of my Les Pauls. But I've never had a guitar completely break down. I don't pick up expensive guitars, so I don't get inclined to buy 335. I think you mean Epiphone 335. Yeah, the Epi or the Epi 345 or 335. They're pretty good, man. The ones I've played, they're pretty good. I I I love the 335. It's I mean, I'm not a tall person, so for me little too big. I have a 339, which I might sell, and I hate saying that, but I just don't play it and I don't gig with it. And if I don't play it and I don't gig with it, usually that means it's on its way out. But it's such a beautiful guitar. But yeah. But a 339, if you don't know, it's like, imagine a 335, identical but shrunk down to the size of just slightly bigger than a Les Paul. But it's more comfortable for me. Actually, on my picture, I think my icon is me playing that guitar. Looks like a nightmare to me. Yeah, not a fan. Yeah, Q wants a Tom Anderson, yeah. The neck and bridge got fucked. Did you drop it or something, Dark Wizard? How does Heritage stack up with Gibson? I can't really answer that because I haven't played it. I don't recall ever playing a Heritage. You know, I'll tell you though, I mean, I'm such a Gibson fanboy that I could never play a Heritage or buy a Heritage. I mean, play one, yeah, but just because, it looks like a Gibson, sounds like a Gibson, it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck, but it's not a duck. Like I'm just so fixated on that whole aesthetic, right? Even if the Heritage is a better instrument and sustained for days and all that kind of stuff, I'm still like such a fanboy that, but it's not a Gibson, that I probably still wouldn't get the Heritage. Play my favorite riff of all time. What is my favorite riff of all time? I don't know. I don't know what my favorite riff of all time is. I did play Watching You earlier. That's up there. It's my favorite riff of all time. And can I play it? That's a riff I like a lot. I don't know if it's my favorite. That's Fastway, by the way. Say what you will. Love that record. Fast Eddie, man. Rest in peace. Yeah. All right, folks, we got a few more minutes in here. Let me know if you've got any more questions. I want to thank you all for popping in. This was, again, I think I posted I was going to do this like 15 minutes before I actually did it. So the fact that anybody showed up is a miracle. So much appreciated. Thank you so much. What's coming up on the channel again, June 22nd, doing the next show with Martin and Pete on a guitar-centric topic, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you tune in for that. It's going to be a great show. I might be doing one more of these if I can squeeze one in at the end of the month, but God willing, I got a lot of gigs to that I got to do. So I don't know how many Saturdays I'm going to have free here. June's going to be tough too, but hey man, I'm all for the gigs. So thanks everybody. Let me just no Gretsch for Gretsch. I love Gretches, man, but the thing is, if I bought a Gretsch, it would be very limited usage, so it'd kind of be a waste. But there's nothing wrong with Gretches. They sound great. They play great. I love Gretches. A little bit, well, they do make the thinner body ones, but the bigger ones are a little, and the size of them, they're just a little bit big for me. But yeah. Bookmark that date, yeah. And folks, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Please hit that like on the way out. That would be much appreciated. We're trying to get to 5,000 subscribers. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your pets. And I will see you all at the end of the month, May 22nd. All right, folks. Thanks so much. Take care. Cheers.